Okay, my name is Jan, and I'm working for Nets in maybe 15 years. Started working with tandem systems 34 years ago. I actually found a certificate for the concepts and facilities course yesterday, so I know it's in February 1988 that I was on this course. So I'll try explaining and telling you guys how we are doing things here at Nets regarding system monitoring. So first, I'll show you how Nets has been doing it since early 60s and until now. There's been a lot of changes during this time. The only constant thing in the payment business is change, I guess. So we are now part of the Nexi Group, a big Italian company. So we will probably change name to Nexi next year. As you can see here, we are all across, well, nearly all across Europe. Don't know what will happen when we are Nexi all over, but let's see. And if you see look at stability here, we have 4 nines. I guess that's people are being used to NonStop system usually have more nines than that, I guess. But this is overall for a company, all kinds of platforms. Okay, so what are the main challenges in our daily operations? Of course, the most important things is to keep systems up to date. And to do that, we need to have software and everything up to date, and also install the latest bug fixes and so on. And we have regular meetings with HPE bi-weekly to where they present the findings, new software that has. Sorry, I should have my notes here. And we are going through this list and check if everything should be installed. Go on. We are having a lot of measure collections going, different in different in different intervals and in different times of the day as well. Actually, we have measure collections going back several years, so we are able to compare how the system was doing several years ago compared to now. Our challenge in daily operations is quick problem detection. So we are monitoring a lot of things on the system. We have a lot of monitoring processes running, and we are reading logs from all kinds of subsystems and monitoring processes. And we're also doing a lot of analyzing of the messages before they are being sent further on to a central monitoring system or being treated in other ways. A couple of years ago, or actually more than that, our service center was moved from Oslo to Copenhagen, and after that, most of the staff there are working. Well, they may be in Copenhagen, but they are mostly from an external consultant company in India. So they don't know very much about our systems and not also the next services. That means we have to do some changes to the event messages we are sending them, because they are not able from that message to identify what is exactly happening. So I'll come back to that. And for that, we have also multiple options for notification. When do we send notifications or alerts? How do we do it? And what do we send? We are also providing compliance evidence for compliance for when we are doing system audits by creating reports that the auditors may have a look at. And the most important thing is we want to keep everything simple. That means we do not have to rely on the tools, but of course, always good with proven routines and good practice. So let's go on. So this is how we more or less a view of how our monitoring system is built, with a ITP web server in the bottom and pathway system with a lot of servers doing different kinds of information collections from different sources, monitoring processes. We're also reading a lot of logs, reading databases, statistics, such things. And of course, the monitoring processes that are running in the Guardian environment, they are communicating with, in this case, the STEPS application for getting extra information. And we'll come back to that later. We're also sending email and SMS from the system. So those are the main applications running on the NonStop, our NonStop servers. We currently have 5 servers, 4 in production and 1 test server. And the STEPS application has 2 servers alone. And I will, since time is limited, I'll just give a short view of STEPS application that's running on 2 servers, 2 different sites, one in Oslo and one 20 kilometers outside Oslo. And actually the STEPS application has now been running on NonStop for 30 years next year. And we had 5 billion payment transactions last year. Last year, 2020. And you may know that we are less than 6 million persons living in Norway. So if you, the grown-up population is approximately 4.5, I think. That means each Norwegian use their card 3 times a day during the whole year. And we also have a very stable platform. As you can see, we have only 1 major incident for the last 13 years. That was also quickly fixed. Okay, go back here. Some words about Black Friday this year. That's always important day for us, because that's some kind of, you can say, test drive for the Christmas, the traffic before Christmas. That's usually the most busy time of the year. So This year we have, if you look at the graph here, that's a combination of actual payment transactions and authorizations. And it does not show the transactions we collect from MasterCard or Visa. That would add another 20, let's say 10 to 15% to the numbers. That means we're actually processing around 1,600 transactions each second during the most visit time. We have about 10% increase of transactions last year, this year compared to last year. That's of course due to the COVID-19 situation. And this is the CPU busy graph from the same time, showing that we have a lot of capacity. Still could probably double the number of transactions without going up to the roof. And those numbers are based on the whole day, Black Friday. It will show the distribution across the CPUs and so on. So as you can see, it's a pretty balanced system. Okay, here we have used two different measure records, the CPU and the process, to do a merged graph of the traffic that same day. That means by picking different times of day and looking at the transaction rate and the CPU utilization that time, we could use this graph to calculate, well, not exactly, but in theory, how many transactions are we able to run under certain conditions. In this case, each CPU is running in 80% busy. That we would never do that, of course, because we have nothing left. But if we did, we were able to process around 1,800 payment transactions, not authorizations, only payments. That's approximately 60% of the whole. And we have a tool that will, in a way, simulate CPU outage. We have a 6 CPU system here. The numbers are coming from the measure collections. And by removing 2 CPUs from this display, we could see how much this would cause increase in CPU utilization for the remaining CPUs. It's all theory, of course, but to give you an idea. Okay, we have different graphs for showing all kinds of different statistics. Those are the disks. We can immediately by color see if anyone who has